Morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, October 16th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, NVDY, MSTY, AMZY, and that's it. So, periodically I do pull up stockanalysis.com, and the reason is they do show you in order, how much YieldMax, their funds basically like the size, total assets. So you can kind of see comparably overall what are the biggest funds. We know NVDY is the biggest, so that's clear. TSLY's right behind it, then CONY, and then MSTY. And then outside of that, there's really just the others, right? There's the YieldMax, the ULTI, AMZY, YMAG, etc. So it's really, think about it. Look at NVDY, 1.2 billion total assets. In YieldMax, 5 billion. It's almost half of all of YieldMax. So again, are they the GOAT because of their size, or is MSTY the GOAT? Or is MSTY coming? MSTY's coming for CONY next. MSTY, again, these numbers don't seem to be as current as they should be, but they're pretty current as of probably over the weekend. But it's still pretty impressive that CONY looks a little crazy, but overall, it's just good to see, check out these numbers. It shows they have 34 funds. And then if you scroll all the way down, you can see, okay, who's the worst? Who is the worst? We can't count Plady and SMCY. Can't count TSMY, too new. YQQQ is the worst. All right, that fund did not, I don't know. These short funds, I guess some people like them, but not enough. It's clear. Because YQQQ is on the bottom, DIPS is on the bottom, Crash is not far behind, but obviously ABNY was garbage. I could have told you that. And SNOY, same thing. DISO's always been on the bottom, but outside of that, I guess everyone else, they're kind of just middle of the park here. PP, I think they'll, they feel like they've been doing better. I'm a fan of NVDY. And then you got everyone, you get the gist. So a lot of these funds, there's really the big four, and then there's everyone else, of course, YMAX, ULTI, and AMZY, and YMAG just hanging out in their own little area. But I figured I'd share this quick update to the biggest funds of YieldMax. Okay. Trade-wise yesterday, only NVDY had a trade. What did they do? Well, if you look at this, can you tell what they did? You could probably get an idea when you see the number of contracts. You see 90,640 contracts. So obviously that must be part of their synthetic, right? Obviously, it could be the weekly call too. But if you look at the expiration date, it shows November 15th, 2024. Obviously that's not, something current. So that's, that's how it references the synthetic. So they closed the 119 synthetic and they cashed out. They said, all right, enough's enough. Let me cash out. Let me make some money. So they cashed that baby out and they rolled it into a 130, a higher strike price. And they rolled it up in date, later, 12/20 expiration date. So did they have to do this? I don't think so. Why did they do this? I don't know. We'll see. Because I don't know when their next payment is. Actually, it's because they just paid. So I doubt they'll get another payment in this month. But either way, let's just look at the numbers and see what this resulted in. So we go to the NVDY chart. And you see, okay, so here's the synthetic 119. In green, you could see this is the closeout. They got $16.25 per share in the call. And they got they paid $260 for the put. Let's make this a little bigger so you could see. So to the right, column G, you could see what they made on the closeout. They made $123 million of closing out, the synthetic. So obviously, this is a profitable position. And if you scroll to the way down, you could see obviously for the October profits, the synthetic totals 123,723,000, right? Which is essentially that trade, because not much has happened since we saw that. And then obviously, September is closed out, but Either way, so they closed out that 119 and they moved it to a 130. Pretty expensive though for this 130, to be honest. They paid 13.40 per share for the the buy call, and then they got a 9.97 credit for the sell put. So they had to pay out of pocket 31 million. So obviously net that against this, and you pretty much get like a $90 million income for the day, which is still really good. I just thought this position seemed, again, it's more expensive. It tends to be more expensive the further out the expiration. So even though it was essentially at the money, because if you see the NVDY strike price, it's at 131. This synthetic is at 130. All right, so like I said, 12/20 expiration, 66 days until that expiration, which, what does that mean? That means earnings falls before that. So, good play. Let's let it ride, right? Let's not touch it. Let's let NVIDIA do its thing. All right, so let's go to the October tab, and we'll see what happened yesterday. What happened in the market? NVIDIA went down. What in the hell? Went down 4.51%. NVDY went down 3.32%. Okay, let's take a look at the weeklies and see what that looks like. Squeeze it all in one. Look at that. What a beauty. All right, so again, all eggs in one basket. They got about 90,640 contracts in total, 138 strike price, 4.67% out of the money. Looks much better, right? Because they dropped how much yesterday? 4.51%. So now they're 4.67% out of the money. We have today's Wednesday. We have 3 trading days left for the week. So we could possibly win out. Again, they do have the security blanket here, the 145. That's 9% away from helping, but they may not even need them because they could close out, we'll see, under the 138. So far, so good. Outstanding shares decreased by 550,000. That's a pretty big decrease. 30-day IV, 50%. All right, we're getting there. Outstanding shares, 48,275,000. But for weekly calls, weekly transactions, there is still no income, so nothing to report there. They're smirking. NVIDY Fund Manager, a little smirk because why? Well, it dropped what they needed to. They live to see another day. They only have 3 more days. Oh, and here's the declaration date, 11/6. Yes, so it falls after the fiscal year. So, I guess when we go to the payment data, we have to look. Credit carry forward versus debit carry forward. And yeah, I'm not showing that they, it looks like they have more losses based on what it looks like they overpaid, basically. So overpaid for the year. Again, I haven't been tracking it the full fiscal year, but since they made all that income and they don't have another payment to make before the end of the fiscal year, then what I'm trying to say is they shouldn't be forced to pay anything additional. However, as far as I understand, I believe, they could still, like this 11/6 payment, since it's applicable to a time frame within the fiscal year prior, it could still be applicable to, anything up to 10/31. I don't know. That's actually a question for Jay, a little technical, to be honest. It's a little too much, but we'll see. I mean, does anyone really even care? But bottom line is you're not getting a bonus. If that's what people are asking, you're not getting a bonus. So they'll, it's just business as usual. It's just where do the numbers close out, right? And then where do we, see because the annual statements will come out at some point. And that's another project in its own. I don't know if you guys want to go through those, but we can. All right, so what do we got? October has now synthetic income, which we mentioned, 92 million, 92.6 mil. That now comes to $1.92 per share. We already made $1.92 per share. Thank you to the synthetic. So we paid out $1.09 last month. Now that, so obviously, what are we going to pay out? Who knows? We have a lot of time to think about. But this does bring up another question that people always have. What's better, synthetic or holding the shares? If you held the shares, if they held the NVIDIA shares, this 192, this taxable income, this doesn't exist, right? Only the covered call premium on the weekly or the month, whatever they'd be doing, that would exist, right? The capital appreciation, that's not like becoming taxable because they're not normally buying and selling out of the fund. This synthetic position, this always has an expiration date. So when it expires, it becomes a taxable event, which means they have to pay it out, right? If it's income, they have to pay it out. If you look at like FEPI, they don't, because they're holding the shares. They're never selling the shares. Like, again, if people sell out, sometimes they have to readjust. Or if one stock gets higher than another, they have to readjust. But outside of that, they're not actually selling the capital appreciation. The capital appreciation is staying into the NAV. What YieldMax does is they're always paying out the NAV. They're always paying out, the income. So essentially, their starting point of 20, it's always going to stay, right? Because they have to pay out 90% of whatever it goes up. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, anyway, let's move on. Where are we? The Rotometer, zero because there's no weekly income. Implied volatility shows 51%, so that reflects to be $1.04. But obviously, if this keeps up and they start making weekly income, and they even make more synthetic income, we could be getting a nice payment for NVIDY. And we're due, right? We're upset with $1.09. $1.09 kind of sucked, to be honest. All right, so outstanding holdings. Do we need to talk about that? Not really. They have the new synthetic. They got weekly calls. We'll see how it plays out. As far as the total net assets, 1.1 bill. Obviously, it went down because NVIDIA dropped yesterday. Now, the NAV is 24.56 and the trade price is 24.47. All right. Let's move on. That's NVIDY. Let's go to TSLY. But by the way, as of now, they have not announced the distribution for Group C. I am working from home today, so I do plan to make that update video around lunchtime. But probably starting next week, I'll be in the office on Wednesday. So that's, I don't know. Like I said, probably not going to do it. All right. So here's TSLY. But however, QQ, Defiance and Roundhill did declare, of course, like the same, feels like at the same time, they're trying to compete with each other for sure. So I'll cover those distributions over the weekend when I do the Defiance versus Roundhill and now versus YieldMax and YMAG. So that's the newest edition. It's going to be an awesome video, so stay tuned over the weekend. All right, the synthetic 245. Again, useless because they don't add to it. So why do we even talk about it? It's just sitting there 10% away from making any money, 31 days till expiration. The 255, which seems to be the only position they add to, 32,000, 28 contracts, 13% away from this one, 31 days till expiration. Again, we'll see what happens. The more important piece is earnings coming up next week. I don't know. What do you guys think? I don't know. I have no freaking idea, but we'll see what happens. All right, so Tesla, how did it do yesterday? Not much action. It went up 0.19%. What a boring day for Tesla, right? But this is good. This is good for these ETFs. TSLY went up 0.09%. All right, very, very boring day. Now, if we look at the positions, oh my God, all right, maybe we'll zoom out to get all the positions in one picture. Zoom a little more. There you go. All right, what in the hell is going on here? I'll tell you what, too much. You see 225, 237, right? You see all that? It's pretty much all eggs in one basket. That is it. So there is down on row 25, 500 contracts at a 227.50. Okay. That's 3.61% out of the money. All right, whoopie-doo. But most of these contracts are sitting with a 225 strike price, which is 2.47% out of the money, with 3 trading days left to go. They all have call credit spreads. Again, I kind of said like it's a non-earnings week. I know it's leading up to earnings, but do they need that? We'll see. But that's 8.17% away from helping. So right now it seems useless. We could be wrong in the end, but time will tell. All right, so outstanding share, I'm not showing any increase or decrease. Okay, 30-day IV, 56%. Outstanding share total, 64.7 mil. Total net income, yes, it's actual income, 23.6 mil. Total distributions, 37 cents per share. Daily income, 3 cents a day. Daily yield, 0.23%. Annualized, 84%. So still looking good for TSLY. Crossing their fingers to have a successful month. 2 weeks until they get to declare again. So they're pretty pumped for that. TSLY fund manager, man, he takes a beating, right? He was the first, but man, he's like the one that all the YieldMax haters go after. Take a look at TSLY. Look how bad TSLY did. All right, synthetic income, 5.5 mil. Short call income, 23.6 mil. That's a total net income of 29 million, which comes to 45 cents per share. But if we just look at the weeklies, that's 37 cents per share. Throw that into the Radameda, and the Radameda will say you could get 73 cents when all said and done. That's a 77% yield. All right, but that's not $1, right? They want $1. All right, so let's use the IV. The IV is 57%, which would come to 54 cents. Again, this dollar, how long is this dollar crap going to last? It goes up and down, but even like this is like nearly the perfect month. I'm still estimating it's going to be under $1. So I wouldn't get used to the dollar unless somehow Tesla goes really high and Tesla can capture a lot of that. But again, we know how that story goes. Outstanding holdings, what do we want to talk about? Nothing. Honestly, nothing. But the synthetic is bad, it's bad. It's like we said, the gold digger is creeping up. She's hanging out, but we're not going to get too worried because she may be gone after earnings, right? Or she may be taking all of our money. Anything could happen. So she's hanging around until then, it looks like. Now we got the calls headed for this week, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. All right. Total net asset, 733 mil. The NAV is 1134 and the trade price is 1133. Okay. Moving on. Hi, Misty. How are you? All right. Misty has a 195, and they are essentially at the money, I guess, at the moment. 31 days till expiration on this one, and earnings happens before that on 10/29. Okay, let's go to the September tab. Yes, they still have a September tab because they haven't announced a distribution. So, how did MSTR do yesterday? It went down 3.65%. MSTY went down 2.44%. So, it went down 2 days in a row, 8% total MSTR did after that big 15-16% day. So, I don't know, man. Kind of why I took profits, but I'm not going to say nothing. Anyway, let's move on. Get this in one picture here. All right. No, I almost did, and then I screwed it up. Whatever. All right, so what do we got? What does this picture tell us? We have standalone contracts, no security blanket, 16,745 contracts, 225 strike price, 15.79% out of the money. Is that safe for Friday? Yeah, it should be, 3 days. And then we have 13,745 contracts. This is a 210 though. This is 8% out of the money. Not as safe, but it does have security, which is, they have like their securities like standing 2 blocks away. Like what's the point? It's 26% away from helping. What kind of backup are you? But I guess that's the kind of backup that MSTR does need with their fluctuations. I don't know. Doesn't seem pretty useful at the moment. Outstanding shares for MSTY did go up 125,000. So someone bought 30-day IV. Oh my God, 110%. Oh my God, 110%. God damn, can we get a damn freaking trade with all that IV? Oof. Outstanding shares, 22.4 mil. Total net income is a loss of 35 mil at the moment. Reaction, they're just, MSTY fund manager. He's a little cocky SOB. He's doing so good right now. He's like, yeah, it's a down day, but I really don't care. I'm up so much. I'm making so much money. You guys are way, way behind. He thinks he's the GOAT. Is he the GOAT? I don't know. We'll see. Well, we saw who was at the top of the chart. NVDY. NVIDY's at the top of the chart. But is MSTY going to catch him? Don't get too cocky there, buddy. All right, Group D declares next week, 7 trading days on October 23rd. We look forward to that. That's been a long-awaited declaration. As far as September income, we have 180 mil in synthetic income. Let's take out the losses from the weeklies, which was 35 mil. That's a total net income of 145 mil. All right, that comes to about $6.49 per share. Now, again, let's talk about this real quick. So like I mentioned previously, so what I track is, what is the NAV reserve? So I basically track, if you have to keep an eye on total income per share. This is how much I show that they made per share for that month, right? And then the distribution is what they paid out for that month. So anything that's a credit, that's essentially a credit carry forward at that moment in time. So that's, the first month, they held back about 464, which came to about $6.1 million based on the number of shareholders at that time. And then the next month, they paid, it looks like what they paid, $252, and they didn't make any money. Essentially, they lost $6.39 per share. So obviously that became a debit carry forward. And then, we carried the debits and credits throughout the month. But overall, yes, this is a position where they'd have to pay out 90% of the net of these two numbers. Again, these numbers are not exact because I did not track the actual outstanding shares as of the close of declaration. I tracked it 1 day prior, so it kind of screws up the numbers. But whatever, I'll work on that for next fiscal year, but it's close enough. But what I'm trying to get to is the NAV reserve is at a debit, of 247. So I'm not showing that they have anything left to pay out. In fact, I'm showing that they can essentially use 247 per share. And I know it doesn't matter per share. It matters total, money, but I don't have that information at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and say still, based on the 649 they made this month, they could probably pay around the $3 range. It's showing 361, but who the hell knows? Time will tell. If we use just the IV is 110%. It comes to 257. Either way, I mean, that's an awesome, awesome payment. People, will they get $6? I'd be sure as hell surprised if they pay out $6. I'm not showing that they have to, but if they do, they do. But I just think that would be way too much. All right. Anyway, let's go to the holdings. Synthetic is kind of hanging out, staying flat. We don't have to talk about that. And then we got the weeklies. Okay, whoopie-doo. We'll see what happens. All right, so total net assets, 625 mil. The NAV is 27.90. The trade price is 27.93. All right, CONY and AMZY. No trades. Where am I? There you go. So Amazon went up. It went up 0.08%. AMZY said, I got you, and I'll match that. It went up 0.2%. So pretty good day for AMZY. Hanging out in that, it loves that $19 range. All right. Not that long ago, we were below 19. We were crying. But we're back and we're staying. All right, so they have a synthetic 185. Amazon is at 187. So their synthetic is sitting pretty. It expires on November 15th, so they got time. And now we talk about the weeklies. What are they doing? Let's zoom out a little so we can see them. Obviously in blue, I highlight the weeklies when I track it this way. But you could see they're all, their biggest position, 9,525 contracts. that has a 187.50, and that's in the money. It's only in the money 0.1% with 3 trading days. They may or may not be okay. We'll see. But as of right now, you kind of want Amazon to move down a little bit. And then we have 215 contracts. This is at a 192.50. This is a little safer at the moment, 2.56% out of the money. And then their security backup. Their security is 3 to 5% away from helping. So yes, if Amazon goes above the 195, which is one of the call credit spreads, then it could start, offsetting the loss from the 187.50. Well, and the 192.50 at that point. So that's the update on their holdings. Now, their synthetic bailout, it's not worth talking about. We will talk about the total net assets, which is 182 mil. That comes to a NAV of 1952 per share, trade price of 1952. And then we could look at the 30-day IV for AMZY. It's 38.05%. And you take that and you divide that, you multiply that by the AMZY price and then divide that by 13 payments, and you get a 57-cent IV estimate. Group D declares next week on October 23rd. Obviously, AMZY is part of Group D. CONY is going to declare today, probably any minute now, probably within the hour, probably during my video. That's what always happens. People typically announce the distribution during the video. All right, so coin went down yesterday. All right, they took a break. They've been flying high. They went down 0.01%. Oh, wait. I didn't update the dates, right? So I got to do, this is -1, and this needs to be -2. My bad. Yeah, there are still some things I have to update in these stupid spreadsheets. Oh, okay. Same thing. All right, well, whatever. Coin went down 0.01%. CONY went up 0.35%. Okay. Good job. All right, so if we zoom out, how is their synthetic doing? They got a synthetic 190. It expires 12/20. We don't really need to care at the moment, but right now, coin is at 196, so it's doing rather well. Now, how about the weeklies? They have weeklies, all eggs in one basket, but they do have a call credit spread, 39,065 contracts, 197.50 strike, 0.59% out of the money. Yikes, way too close for comfort. Security, they're 5% away from helping. I'm not feeling too great about that. But either way, I don't know, man. CONY is finally doing good, though. So we'll see. Hopefully we don't end up in the dead zone for these calls, but we'll see how the week goes. By the way, we never talk about treasuries. I assume you guys don't really give a crap, but you could kind of see, the rates, the expiration date of the treasury notes, bonds, whatever. These are just sitting there. The money, our cash goes into the treasuries, all right, and the bonds, and they earn interest, right? And then they use that as collateral to play options for us. So that's the point of those. Cash, how much cash they got? 71 mil in cash. Well, that's a lot of cash, but what this week is, CONY's paying out. They're paying out how much? I don't know. They should be paying $1, that's for sure. All right, so why are they paying $1? Well, because they had a synthetic cash out the other day. All right, total net assets, 734 mil. The NAV, 1424. I love it, man. What a recovery. It's going to drop, though. Tomorrow is ex-dividend date, so it's going to drop. If it goes up, if they pay $1, it's going to go back down to 13. Assuming we close in the 14 range. The trade price is 14.23. Check out this IV, 92%. This is what we like. And based on a 92% IV, even that's showing over $1. So all signs point to over $1, $1. Group C, obviously they're Group C. And, Ulti's part of Group C too. Ulti will declare today as well. Their declaration date is today. So happy declaration date. All right, so that's it. That's it for the holdings. That's it for the TSLY, NVDY, AMZY, whatever. We went through them all. So let's go to the pre-market. All right, and close out of that. Let's go to marketwatch.com. Our favorite website, right? Anyway, Tesla, how we doing? We are up 0.51%. We are at 220.68. Okay, that's kind of another boring day here. Tesla is up 0.79%. It's at 11.42. People always ask, when will Tesla reverse split? I don't know why people care, to be honest. But if you're asking, it's pretty much when it goes below $10, then it could be any time, any point in time. It's up to the fund managers. They're not really in danger till it goes below $5. It has to stay below $5 for a certain period before they get dinged and get in trouble. But anyway, based on historical activity of, and what we saw with the prior reverse split, I would say anything under $10, that's when you could expect it at any point in time. However, I believe there's other funds at the moment that are under 10 or have been under 10 that are not reverse splitting. So who knows? NVDY, they're up 0.65%. They're at 132.46. NVDY is up 0.86%. They're at $24.68. COIN is up 1.12%. They're at 198.53. CONY is up 1.34%. They're at 14.42. MSTR is up 1.77%. They're at 197.75. MSTY is up 1.54%. They're at 28.36. TSLL, they are up 1.05%. Options update time. Well, there's a lot going on, right? So first off, I did make a trade. I could show you guys that. I did make a trade yesterday. And if I go to the photos, that's a video to look forward to this weekend. So here it is. I sold a put. And guess what? My first put over earnings. I sold my first put over earnings, this earnings at least. And it paid a nice premium. It paid me 53 cents per share or $53. So based on how much I put up, it's a $9 put. So I put up $900 in collateral up until October 25th. So based on how much I made on a daily, I annualize that and it comes to 214% on an annualized basis. So why would I sell a put, a $9 put that expires October 25th? Because I'm saying I am willing to buy TSLL at $9 if TSLL closes below $9, okay? If TSLL stays above $9, then I get my $900 collateral back. And why do I want TSLL at $9? Well, because I currently own 600 shares with a cost basis of $11.75. So I am trying to lower my current cost basis, all right? So anything below $11.75 to me is a great price because it does lower my cost basis. $9 would be even more amazing. But again, this week I do have other puts that are expiring. We'll get into that as we get closer to the end of the week though. All right, so that's my options update on TSLL. TNA is up 1.11%, 45.74. I'm not currently trading them at the moment, too high. AMDY, they are up 1.06%, 14.36. AMZY is green. It's up 0.51%, 1961. BTC, Bitcoin, is up 0.64%. It's at 67,395. BitX is up 1.21%. It's at 3169. Last but not least, SOXL had a rough day yesterday, man. Woo-wee. I said I wasn't going to trade any other ETFs until earnings is over. But man, SOXL, you tempted me. I almost did. If they're red today, I'm going to have to bite the bullet. But as of right now, they're showing pretty green. They're up 0.67%. They're at 34.70. So yeah. So why would I trade SOXL if they're having a really red day? Well, I would sell the put out of the money, which means lower than the current price, because I would expect a recovery the next day. And as you can see, they're already green, not green by much, but if they stay green, essentially I can make money for lending out money, and that's it. That's options, right? You're just playing musical money. Here's my money, give it back. Here's my money, give it back. Here's my money, take it. And that's it. It's not that hard. It really isn't. It's actually fun. It makes investing fun. Without options, what are you doing? You're hitting buy, sell, buy, sell. That is not fun. When you do options, it's a little more involved, and you're making income. They're paying you to buy shares. They're paying you to sell shares. How freaking awesome of it. I mean, in fact, none of us should buy or sell any stocks unless you're a swing trader. We should always get paid to buy stocks, always get paid to sell stocks. It's kind of like how I've been thinking lately. Obviously, I do make purchases and sells without options, but you get my drift. All right, that's the update. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you were entertained. If not, we will try again tomorrow, of course. If you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. If you want to help out the channel, there's many, many ways. One way is to share this video or share this channel with your friends and family, or if you're in other groups, Facebook groups, Reddit groups, Twitter, please share. Again, that helps out the channel because it goes out to an audience that I may not have reached out to, right? And then, of course, yes, I do have a membership thing, which, you know, you could see that there's a join button under each video and it'll tell you what that's about. I won't get into that right now, but outside of that, that's pretty much it. So we'll have to get to the keyword, right? It's keyword time. And what are we doing? What are we doing? It's freaking keyword time. So let's assume CONY's paying $1, right? Let's assume that. I don't know if they could have declared by now, but I don't know. But today's keyword is what? What do we want? What do we want? $1? I feel like we did this yesterday. I don't even remember. What was yesterday's keyword? But either way, today's keyword, if you made it this far in the video, today's keyword is dollar. Dollar bill. It should be still $1. It's all about $1. We're waiting for that dollar. So CONY should declare $1 and everyone would be happy. If they declare under $1, then we're all going to be crying. All right. So today's keyword, if you made it this far in the video, is $1. All right. Say it however you want. Numerical, text, spell it funny. I really don't care. That's the keyword. That's all I got. Sorry, I'll come up with something maybe more creative tomorrow. But today, yeah, that's all I got. Anyway, I just want to say thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Later.